We should feel the emotion of the experience before it happens, so that if you're feeling the emotion of that future before it happens, truly feeling it, you wouldn't be looking for it. You would only be looking for it when you felt separate from it, right? So can you maintain that state? Because the only way you're going to believe in that future is you have to feel the emotion associated with it.
So good.
The moment you feel the lack and the separation, you're going to believe in the past. You sit down and you say, what would it be like to be super healthy, super wealthy, super in love, super mystical, transcendental, whatever it is? Like, you ask that question and your brain gets really creative. It starts combining circuits in new ways, and you start getting this vision of the future, this possibility that you actually put yourself in this future reality. It becomes so real that you start to feel the emotion as if you were actually there. And so that moment when you come out of your resting state, the stronger the emotion you feel when you hold that vision, the more you'll remember that vision. That's creating a memory. So the person comes out of their resting state and they make a decision with such firm intention that the amplitude of that decision carries a level of energy that causes their body to respond to their mind. That their choice that they're making in that moment becomes a moment in time that they would never forget. They'll say to you, I remember the moment I made up my mind to change. I was in this place, I was with these people, I was this particular time. That the event is a long-term memory, and they've come out of the resting state, and we could say then they're giving their body a taste of the future emotionally, and somehow they begin to embody whatever that future is, and now they begin to move in a different direction. And so they start trusting in their future more because they feel like they're connected to it. So then the person who's really interested in making a change would have to come to that same state again in order to produce the same effect. If they say, I don't feel like it, or I want to be nicer, or whatever, and there's nothing really at stake. Intention is really meaning. You gotta have a meaning behind what you're doing. So people who now say, I want a better life, I can't have a better life unless I change, and when I change, my life will change. Now you're not so interested in what's happening out there. You're more interested in what's going on inside of you. If you're on the journey, fill your brain with information and knowledge. Information is power, and it's self-empowering when it's about you, right? And then do something with it. I was just talking to my son about this the other day. Knowledge without experience is philosophy. The experience without knowledge is ignorance. We got to marry the two in some way. So to trust our intuition, we got to get out of our analytical mind. And if it takes you 2 years to get there, it's worth it. If the heart resets the baseline for trauma in the brain, then you got to stop feeling resentment and learning how to start feeling love. That means you got to make different chemicals, and that's not something you may do overnight. But if you understood, like if I do some deep breathing and it slows my brain waves down, and I know that if where I place my attention is where I place my energy, if I put my attention on the heart, I can begin to awaken the center. If I can move out of survival and the sympathetic into the parasympathetic nervous system, let me practice doing that, assign meaning to the act to produce an outcome. I think people have become impatient because of, they're so used to clicking on something in Amazon Prime and getting it, the next day. Like if you're really going to create reality in an unconventional way, you got to practice. You got to get practice getting beyond yourself. And I think knowledge is the great, catalyst for the experience. So if you're truly going to trust yourself and trust your intuition, if you're truly going to find the place to be kind and considerate and caring in your life, there's just a part of you that you're going to have to leave behind. And when I interview people that do walking meditations that heal in one walk, I always say to them, what the heck happened to you? And they say, I just decided who I was going to leave behind. Default mode network is the brain's predictor. Like you say, okay, I've had these experiences, I've done these things, it's never going to change because I know it's going to be just like my past. And you don't do that consciously. You kind of do that unconsciously because the default mode network is always try to lay down a known, try to predict the next moment. And it's just like if I tossed you a ball The default mode network would be like your body just, predicting where the ball is going to go, and it just kind of grabs it. It's that automatic, right? So the brain is naturally trying to predict the future based on the past. The challenge with that is it consumes an enormous amount of energy in the brain. Like almost all the energy in the brain. It takes a lot to shut that thing off. Our data shows that in 7 days, you can shut that part of the brain off. And if you're not predicting the future, you're in the present moment. And when you're in the present moment, you're way more creative, you're way more poised, you're way more spontaneous, the brain is more integrated. And what we discovered is those people that do it, and it's the majority of the people, when they open their eyes after the meditation's over, with their eyes open, that default mode network is still shut off in their brain. So they're still present as if they're meditating, but they're not they're not meditating with their eyes closed. That place is when the brain really begins to reboot itself. And that's when you get creative ideas. That's when you trust yourself. That's when you're excited and, enthusiastic and full of energy about what you're seeing. What you're seeing makes sense to you. You believe in it on some level. The default mode network is always going to try to predict it based on what it knows from the past. And you can't create anything new that way.
Complaining is making me unhappy.
Yeah.
Living by this emotion, justified or not, is not loving to me. This is down-regulating genes. My body's believing it's living in the same event 24 hours a day if I feel the same emotion. Okay, well, let's change that. So when the person is taking on that belief, like if I change, my life changes. And I think most people try to create a new personal reality as the same personality. It doesn't work. We got to become somebody else. So if you took that on as the truth, okay, I got to remember that if I change, my health could change. If I change, my life could change. Okay, now it's a different game now. It's not like I have to. This is like I want to change to see my life change, right? It's more of a want to.
What are some of the changes that you've seen people make in their life that have had the biggest changes in their life?
Oh my God, I've seen the most amazing things in the last, just in the last few years. I mean, the Joe Dispenza that's sitting here today has had a dramatic change in his belief system. In witnessing human transformation to the scale that I've witnessed it, that's literally changed my belief in what's possible, right? I mean, and it's coming from the data that we're gathering, but it's also coming from the stories of transformation, testimonials. And this, I have to be careful about this because this is a stretch for a lot of people. I'm not talking about, just 50 people. I'm talking about hundreds, if not thousands of people who've broken the 4-minute mile, that they went from absolute bankruptcy in severe debt to, super abundance, whole new life by changing. I've seen people with all kinds of health conditions, from muscular dystrophy to spinal cord injuries, to Parkinson's disease, to stage 4 cancers, to all kinds of crazy, serious health conditions, to go into complete remission. The person changed, and when they changed, their health changed.
You're obsessing about time, right? So if the change is to be greater than your body, to be greater than your environment, to be greater than time, and the stress hormones cause us to put all of our attention on our bodies, our environment, and time, it means when we're under stress and we're in survival, it's really hard to change. It's really not a time to change. It's time to run, fight, and hide. Okay, overcome the addiction to those emotions, lower the volumes in them, give people the application, and have them work with it. They're going to break an addiction. What happens when you break an addiction? You go through withdrawals. Come on, just a little suffering. Come on, just a little judgment. Come on. That's so. The body's craving, the mind is craving those chemicals. And so overcoming an addiction to something outside of us is one thing, but overcoming the addiction to the chemicals or the emotions that are within us, that's a huge thing, right? And so it's funny because if you're addicted to something like, I don't know, sugar or caffeine, and none of these are, have your own belief on them, but if you're addicted to alcohol or whatever, or nicotine, and you say, I'm going to quit, I'm going to quit. And you say that with intention with your conscious mind. And then, I throw my feet up on the table. I grab a sugar donut and a cup of coffee. And I got, powder all around my mouth. And you're still trying to overcome it. Your body's going to say, start tomorrow. Oh, this is not a good day for you. Come on, one bite, everybody else is doing it. All of that. Those are the voices in our head that lead to the same choices, right? So, but if you truly broke the addiction to the emotion, to the substance, and you walked in, you could have the sugar or not have the sugar, or the coffee or not have the coffee, because you're not addicted to it, and there's no tug any longer. The unknown is just a dangerous and scary place. That unknown is when the body's stepping outside of its comfort zone, of its predictability, right? It's unfamiliar. There's discomfort. And so the discomfort of being in the unknown causes the person to return back to the same person. So crossing that river of change from the old self to the new self, there is a neurological, a neurochemical, a biological, a hormonal, a genetic death of the old self. And we see it, and there's dissonance that goes on in the brain. The person's not firing the same circuits, and they're inhibiting the thought that's going to produce the chemical. They're observing it and not responding to it, believing in it. It takes an enormous amount of energy, an enormous amount of awareness to stay conscious. And people think they're doing their meditations wrong when they go unconscious. No, you're doing it right. The only way you become conscious is to catch yourself thousands of times from going unconscious, and you'll never go unconscious again. That's the overcoming process. And it turns out that it's the overcoming process that is the becoming process. So when the person says, God, I've been addicted to anger or frustration my whole life, well, get ready. The moment you say, I don't want to be addicted to this, the war is on. The war is on, because the body is going to find a reason for you to be angry. It's going to tell you, oh, this is a good reason. No, there's too much traffic, you're going to be late. It's, oh my God, I can't believe this person, whatever it is, right? So then the cravings that take place when you're willing to sit through that emotion in your meditation, this is why it's so valuable. Because if you're sitting in your meditation and your body's getting aroused, that's perfect. That's perfect. That is the animal that's impatient, that's frustrated, that wants to get up and do something. And you're telling the animal to stay. You're telling it to sit. And it usually gets its way. So it starts assaulting the brain. Turns out if you're willing to sit in that emotion and keep lowering the volume to that emotion, keep taking your attention off that person or problem, keep watching the body get aroused and settle it back down, and stop siphoning energy into the emotions of the familiar path. Keep doing that. Sooner or later, like training an animal, the body's no longer going to be the mind. And when it realizes it's no longer the mind, there's going to be a tremendous liberation of energy. And now the person's relaxed in the present moment, in the unknown, and that turns out to be a really great place for people to create in.
Well, is the hate that you're feeling is like drinking poison and hoping the other person's going to have an effect, right? The only person that is affecting is you, justified or not. The hormones of stress downregulate genes and create disease. So the person has to say, oh my God, I got to change. I got to forgive. And by the way, if you practice being in your heart, it's not hard to forgive. I mean, when you're feeling that feeling, it's very easy to forgive. It's not like you're really trying to forgive the person. You're feeling so good. You're like, you're good. I'm good. Let's go. I'm free. That's what the side effect of the work is when the person's really looking. So I think sometimes it's a person defaults automatically and they go unconscious. We all do it. I think that sometimes people, they forget why they're doing it, or what they're doing has just become another routine. They haven't really thought it through and really said, okay, I'm doing this for this intention. I think people sometimes give up on themselves, and that becomes a habit. They don't really get into it. They really don't really invest themselves, because they don't believe that they, on a deep level, that they can change. So there's a lot of factors. Some people would only do a short little meditation and think their life is going to blow up and they're going to be abundant tomorrow. It's unrealistic, right? If a person wants to be, let's just pick healthy or abundant, right? And this is their dream of being healthy or abundant. And this is the personality who's in lack or feeling unhealthy or is unhealthy. You got to agree with me, in order for this person to arrive here, they got to make a lot of different choices and do a lot of different things and create a whole lot of new experiences to finally, when they become this person, they're going to change along the way, right?